Welcome back into the news portion of DSI, where we start with news that sent shockwaves across the nation tonight. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passing away at the age of 87. Ginsburg was a senior member of the court's liberal wing. She was well known for delivering progressive votes on divisive social issues and authoring fiery dissents. In recent years, Ginsburg cultivated a rock star status and was dubbed the, quote, notorious RBG by her fans. She began her tenure on the Supreme Court in 1993 when she was appointed by President Bill Clinton. Before that, she had a celebrated career as an attorney fighting for equal rights for women. Ginsburg suffered from 5 bouts of cancer before her passing. Well, shifting gears now to local news, the saga to find a new county executive in Wicomico County appears to have ended without any of the candidates who applied for the job getting the position. The council instead voting 5-2 to allow acting county executive John Pasoda to continue serving in that position. Since the late county executive Bob Culver passed away this summer, the council has gone through 2 application processes. The first ended with what many in the public described as a controversial appointment of Dr. Renee Desmarais over Delegate Carl Anderton Jr. Desmarais later turned down the appointment. The second process, as it appears, will end like this because council members were unable to come to a conclusion as to which candidate they should pick.
I don't think we would have had a consensus on the 2 candidates, so we chose to go with Mr. Pasoda. As a matter of fact, it was one of the 3 that voted the first time that made this recommendation.
Pasoda is also the county's director of administration and will continue to serve in that position while he fills the acting county executive seat. Dodd says Pasoda is looking to hire another director of administration as well as a deputy director. We're also told he will remain acting county executive until the position is filled by election or in accordance with the charter. But we want to hear what you think about this decision. You can tell us on 47 ABC's Facebook or Twitter right now. Well, staying in the county, James M. Bennett, teacher and the wife of Salisbury Mayor Jake Day, was sentenced to jail time this morning after accepting a plea deal with the state for the charge of attempted possession of a controlled dangerous substance. Elizabeth Day was sentenced to 10 days and began serving her sentence today. According to the state, late last year, Day had tried to buy ADHD medication from a student. She was placed on academic leave after her charges, but the Wicomico County schools would not comment about her current employment status because they say this is a personnel matter. Well, starting next week, restaurants in Maryland can open up their indoor capacity to 75%. In the governor's new order, restaurants will be able to serve customers at that capacity starting Monday at 5 p.m. The increase will only be allowed with appropriate social distancing. Restaurants also will have to follow strict public health requirements consistent with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Food and Drug Administration, and the National Restaurant Association. Today's announcement comes at the beginning of the state's first ever Maryland Restaurant Week, which is set to end on September 27th. Well, with that, we have an update on the number of positive coronavirus cases across our region. Today, Maryland health officials added 543 cases, bringing the state's total to 119,062. The state's positivity rate now at a 2.73. Meanwhile, Virginia adding 1,130. That puts their total at 132,090. Their positivity rate at a 6.2%. Lastly, Delaware adding 48 today. That brings them to 19,366 with a positivity rate at 8.4. That's a jump from yesterday's 6.8. Now, when we look at our hardest hit counties on Delmarva, here's where we stand. Wicomico County adding 9 today. That brings them to a total of 1,855. Their positivity rate at a 3.79. Worcester County only adding 1, so they're now at 975 with a positivity rate of 4.41. Now, Sussex County, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. They actually reported 15 fewer cases than they did yesterday, and that's actually because the state of Delaware has discovered that some cases were being reported twice instead of once. So they're now correcting that. So their corrected total is now at 6,570. Their positivity rate at a 9.8. That's a jump from yesterday's 5%. All right, enough talk about COVID. Daniel, let's talk about the weather. That's what people want to know. Is there a cool down coming this weekend?
Heck yeah, and I'm excited about it. The fall weather is here. It's football weather, and why not? We're here on Delmarva Sports Insider. So we're going to talk about some cool fall weather moving in, our more roofing and siding Skycam. It's quiet out there tonight in terms of the weather. I actually don't see anyone out there on the boardwalk at this hour. 74 was the high today. 78 is where we should be. So 4 degrees cooler, but we're going to be much, much cooler as we head through the weekend. Right now, weather watchers are calling in Ted and Millsboro 66, John and Fenwick 66, 64 for Chucky and Lewis, 66 for Ed and Chincoteague, and it's 62 for Bud and down in Bloxham, that temperature in the low 60s. Now, look at these temperatures currently. This is pretty much what we're going to have for highs over the weekend. So temperatures are going to stay in the 60s. It's 64 in Salisbury, and it is 62 in Easton. So temperatures dropping. They're dropping slowly. That north wind behind a cold front is beginning to pick up in intensity. So winds between 5 and 20, depending on where you are for the moment. And these winds are going to stay breezy over the weekend. Now, one thing we're noticing, and this is actually something computer models were hinting at, notice the clouds just kind of sitting on top of Salisbury and areas to the south, while areas north are clearing. This is going to be the case tomorrow. The clouds are going to kind of hang out across southern Delmarva, at least for the first half of the day. Then we'll start to see some clearing. So a mix of clouds and sun for your Saturday, but the clouds are going to put on a big fight. We have Tropical Storm Beta. What kind of name is that, right? It's actually the Greek alphabet. We've moved into a new alphabet because we ran out of letters in our alphabet. We've had so many storms. So now we have Alpha, we have Beta out there. Beta is the one we're most concerned with. Everyone from Mexico to Texas to Louisiana needs to watch the storm closely. It could be making landfall as a hurricane as we head into next week. So we're watching that closely. Tonight here on Delmarva, partial clearing. Temperatures cool in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow, only in the 60s with a mix of clouds and sun. Quite breezy too. Here's that dog walking forecast for you. We have Buddy today, courtesy of Ed in Chincoteague, our weather watcher. If you're taking Buddy or your dog for a walk tomorrow, we're looking at pretty nice temperatures if you like the fall weather. 60s for the afternoon, low to mid 50s to start your day. But overall, we're going to have a battle between the clouds and the sun. Small craft advisory on the waters, not the best day to be out there. Waves are going to be rough and the winds will be strong. High risk for rip currents for the whole weekend as well. And coastal flood advisories in effect all weekend long. If you flood during coastal flood advisories like low-lying areas such as Crisfield, Cambridge, parts of Ocean City, you're probably going to see some minor flooding through the weekend right around high tide. So here we go into tomorrow. Futurecast shows a good amount of sunshine, but I do think some of the clouds are going to try to hold on strong for your Saturday. The beaches might see more clouds on Sunday, while inland areas see sunshine. So again, a big battle this weekend with the cloud cover, but I do think the sun will win out eventually. And then as we head into Monday, that's when the sun really wins the battle. We're looking at brilliant sunshine all of next week. When was the last time I had a 7-day forecast with sunshine or at least dry weather almost, actually pretty much every single day? It's been a long time, but enjoy the cool weather if you like it over the next several days. Julian?
All right, Daniel, thank you. That is it for the news portion of the show. When we return, we're bringing you this week's Top Plays sponsored by Delaware Appliance. This is DSI.
My name is Mike Judy, head coach at Smyrna High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.